Rose was a very beautiful girl. Her face looked like it was sculpted by a skilled plastic surgeon. Her skin glowed effortlessly, and her figure-eight perfect body made men drool. People stared when she walked. Men paused mid-sentence. Women measured themselves against her and sighed. Rose knew all of this. In fact, she relied on it. She enjoyed the attention she got due to her beauty. She had learned early in life that beauty was a currency. She had to use what she had to get whatever she wanted. She grew up watching her mother struggle. A good woman, yes, but married to a man who worked hard and still never had enough. Electricity would be cut. Rent would be begged for. Dreams were postponed indefinitely. Rose hated that life with a passion that burned quietly but fiercely in her chest. She swore she would never be poor. Not now. Not ever. Got into the university. She treated it like a marketplace and an opportunity. Men swarmed her like bees to honey, and she enjoyed choosing among them the way royalty chooses favorites. She dated only big boys, sons of businessmen, politicians, men with cars, credit cards, and connections. They bought her hair that cost more than some people's rents, shoes she wore once and discarded, dresses that celebrities wore. One of her boyfriends even bought her a car. Poor boys were invincible to her. Anytime a broke boy tried to talk to her, she laughed openly, sometimes cruelly. "Go and hustle first," she would say, flipping her bone straight. "Then maybe you can talk to a rare beauty like me." Her friend, Ada, often tried to warn her, "Rose, take it easy. Not all that glitters is gold." Rose would laugh, loud and careless. "It is for me," she'd reply. "I only attract gold. Have you seen this body? You think I'll waste it on struggling broke men? Never." Ada would shake her head, already tired of warning someone who enjoyed the edge too much to see the cliff. Then came Daniel. Daniel was different from the rest. He wasn't flashy. He did not own a car. He worked part-time while schooling, barely keeping up with fees and feeding. But he was a kind man, thoughtful, respectful, the kind of man who listened and loved deeply. He worked as a junior staff in a logistics company. His boss was a wealthy man named Mr. Raymond. Daniel noticed Rose the first day he came to deliver a parcel at her house. He noticed her beauty, but more than that, he saw something more within her. He didn't approach her immediately. He watched. He admired quietly. When he finally gathered the courage to talk to her, he did so politely. "Hi, my name is Daniel. I just wanted to say you look amazing." Rose looked him up and down once and laughed. "Amazing? Is that all?" She scoffed. "See your life, please. Do I look like your mate?" People around them chuckled. Daniel felt like disappearing beneath the ground. "I didn't mean any disrespect," he said softly. "Then don't disrespect yourself," she snapped. "Next time, know your level." She walked away, heels clicking as she catwalked. A few weeks later, Rose met Mr. Raymond, Daniel's boss. Her car had broken down near a high-end restaurant. She was irritated, already late for dinner with friends. Then a sleek black SUV pulled over. The driver stepped out, tall, polished, smiling in a charming way. "Car trouble?" he asked. Rose looked at him and immediately softened. Everything about him screamed money, and she was immediately interested. Within minutes, he had arranged for her car to be towed, paid for the repairs, and insisted on driving her home. "I'm Raymond," he said casually. "I own a few businesses." Rose smiled in a way she reserved only for men who passed her eternal financial inspection. They exchanged numbers. Raymond courted her with extravagance, private dinners, luxury gifts. He spoke of investments, traveling for vacations, and a bigger life. Rose was hooked. This was the kind of man she believed she deserved. What she didn't know was that Raymond had noticed her long before she noticed him, and has been watching her. Their relationship blossomed, but Rose ignored all the red flags. She was too intoxicated by wealth to see the truth. Raymond never took her to his house during the day. His phone was always on silent, and he never took calls in her presence. He had no mirror in his house, and he warned her never to go into a particular room in his house. Daniel tried to warn her. One evening, Daniel ran into her at a cafe where Raymond had dropped her off and tried to warn her. "Rose," he said cautiously, "please be careful with that man." She rolled her eyes. "You again? Are you stalking me now?" "No," Daniel said quickly. "I work for him. He's my boss. And there are things about him that are not right." Rose laughed. "Oh, please, you're just jealous. Go and face your poverty in peace." "Don't ever speak to me again," she snapped. "I don't mix with broke men." One night, Raymond proposed to Rose in a grand romantic way. She was so happy about it and screamed, "Yes," immediately. She bragged about her engagement to everyone who would care to listen. She even went to Daniel and showed him her finger, mocking his poverty and telling him that he can never afford such an expensive ring. One night, Raymond insisted that Rose stay over at a secluded property he owned on the outskirts of town. She hesitated, but the promise of marriage, of status, of a life she had fantasized about silenced her instincts. That night, the house felt wrong. It was too quiet. Candles flickered in corners where there was electricity. Symbols she didn't recognize were carved softly into walls. When she asked questions, Raymond smiled. "Relax, you worried too much." He went to the room to make a phone call, and something told her to follow him this time. She tiptoed quietly behind him and stuck her ear to the door. "She's ready for the sacrifice," Raymond said. "The spirits will be pleased." Rose's heart froze. She tried to leave, but all the doors were locked. "You wanted wealth," Raymond laughed. "This is how it comes. This is how I make all the money I give to you." Rose screamed, but no one came to her aid. She begged, crying and wailing. He laughed. "Do you know how many girls wanted the same thing you want? Money, power." He revealed everything. The rituals, the sacrifices, the deals he made with spiritual forces. He didn't choose his victims randomly. He chose people who worshipped wealth more than life itself. People who would walk willingly into the fire. Rose realized then how foolish she had been, how blind, how arrogant. When Raymond prepared the final stage of the ritual, something unexpected happened. The lights went out suddenly. Someone broke into the house. In the midst of the darkness, the person hit Raymond with a huge stick and dragged Rose out of the house. She finally recognized him. Daniel. Daniel had been watching her closely and had followed them in his motorcycle. He rescued her and took her to safety. Rose thanked him over and over again for saving her life. She realized now how foolish she had been. She refused true love to chase after ill-gotten wealth. She sold most of her expensive things to pay her bills. She moved into a smaller apartment. She tried to go back to Daniel. "I'm sorry," she whispered. He smiled sadly. "I hope you find peace." He did not ask for love. He did not demand gratitude. He simply walked away. Rose learned the hard way that wealth without wisdom is a trap. That not every man with money is blessed and not every poor man is worthless. She eventually found her own path, slow, honest, and earned. And for the first time in her life, she was satisfied with what she had.